Hello again and welcome to Tips and Tricks for February 2023. This month, how to download UnForm 10.1 and update the web extension.
So you're interested in getting started with 10.1. Well, here's where we start. On the main UnForm page, go to Support Downloads. Now you're going to see UnForm 10.1 as the main download page. You still can get to older versions through the download older versions here. So you're going to want to download your operating system version. In addition to 10.1, you'll also see a new UnForm web extension as opposed to the SDSI web extension. Just a little visually different. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to my Chrome. And it has been added. And I will go into the extensions and go ahead and pin that if you want to see that all time. Okay, so you can go ahead and download the 10.1. You will need to request a license from sales. And of course, if you're on maintenance, that's included. The other thing you're going to want to do in order to get started is look at the documentation first. If you're coming from 10.0, there's a few extra steps to consider. So if you go to Support, Documentation, 10.1 Manual, underneath Installation, you're going to notice an Upgrading from 10.0 section. So there's a few things to consider here. The main point being that you don't want to run 10.0 and 10.1 simultaneously. There's things such as inbound sources. Let's say an email inbound source. You don't want 10.0 bringing in emails and 10.1 monitoring the same email account. So there's a few of those considerations to put in place. Next one being there is a default new port for 10.1. That is configurable. If you wanted to run 10.1 on the same port as 10.0, you can do that. The new default port is 27402. And another thing to consider would be if you're going to install 10.1, you can put it in its own directory, say UF101, or you can install over the top of UF100. Now, there are some instructions here. If you do install over the top of UF100, there are some files that you need to remove. Other than that, you're going to go through your typical migration steps. If you are creating a new UF101 directory, you're going to move your ARC libraries and all of those files, user files and group files and all of that, job definitions. Everything's spelled out here for you. So I guess the only question left is, what are you waiting for?
Thank you, Brian. Remember to click the link in the email to learn what's new in UnForm version 10.1. My name is Dan. If you have any comments or suggestions about future tips and tricks, please email them to danis@synergetic-data.com. For UnForm tips and tricks, thank you very much. See you next month.